Yesterday, we began with 8 teams. This morning, we're down to 6, and this afternoon, we will have our 2. Good morning again, ladies and gentlemen, on day 2 from ESL Studios here in Burbank, California, where we today complete the final 2 spots for the 16-team pool for the major at ESL One Cologne in Germany in just over 3 weeks' time. Yesterday started off as expected with Group A, Cloud9, the heavy favorite, going all the way through and directly into the semifinal. Now, of course, I do say semifinal loosely because there is no final. If you win those today, you are directly qualified. It was also Noble Esports who came in as the online qualifier with a surprise appearance, and naturally, they were the first to be eliminated. 16-2 versus Cloud9 to start it off. A decent late performance against Liquid in the lower bracket, against Tempo Storm rather, in the lower bracket. Did get them 10 rounds, but it wasn't to be enough. And Liquid and Tempo Storm this morning will start off with a rematch of yesterday. And it should be absolutely great because that game yesterday had a ton of potential, a ton of hype, and it is all to play for. Group B was definitely the fun group. It had Maximum Effort and Mythic, both teams having lost their organizations this week, in fact, just before this qualifier, with a lot to play for. And it was actually Mythic out of those 2 teams who managed to continue forward despite that Maximum Effort played Elevate in the lower bracket. They actually got out with a 16-3 scoreline. A bit surprising for Semphis and Hiko and the rest of that roster. Meanwhile, it was CLG who made it all the way through in that particular stage and are now in the other semifinal, and they'll play the winner of this morning's game. Now, as yesterday, we do want to keep you all included, keep the community involved. There's 3 ways of doing so on social media. First and foremost on the website, esl-one.com, as well as on facebook.com/ESLCS, and the big one, Twitter @ESLCS with the hashtag ESL1. Chance to get your tweets on screen and as well take part in a giant conversation. Let's get that trending today and get the hype started. And with that hype, you should also head over to esl-one.com/Cologne and get your tickets for this event. It's going to be massive. The first major from ESL this year in Katowice was one of the greatest events in the history of esports, and this one promises to deliver on a similar front. I highly anticipate that's going to be sold out, so do that today. Do not delay. That said, I'm not alone today. As always, we've got the real talent. It's Jason Moses O'Toole and Jonathan Blue Mullen. You guys saw yesterday's action. I'll sit and join you, but it was pretty straightforward in Group A. Like I said, Group B, a little bit surprising perhaps that Maximum Effort went down. But thoughts today as we head into the first match?
This first match, actually, after Tempo Storm lost to Liquid yesterday, the first thing that Tempo Storm said to me afterwards was, we want them again. We want to get Liquid, we want to get them on the same map. And that's exactly what's happening today. They're going to do a complete rematch on Cash one more time.
And these are 2 teams which have gone out against each other many times in the past, and we've seen a lot of success lately from Tempo Storm, managing to take that map versus Navi back on Sivo land last week, and a lot of other success overall. And with the roster being so new as well, that's a lot of potential for the future, regardless of the results today. But even in this match, hopefully they've had a chance to go back to the hotel, rewatch the match from yesterday a little bit, and re-strategize and rethink here, as it is going to be on Cash once again.
And the interesting aspect of that is also that Tempo Storm, having played, this will be their 3rd map in this qualifying stage, have played that map now 3 times. Yesterday it was interesting. Liquid managed to get a lot of bomb plants down, struggled with post-plant positions early. It actually looked like if that trend continues, Tempo Storm might take that game. But then there was a lot of rounds and situations that didn't go their way that should have as well. So, like you said, they want that rematch. Shazam wasn't really hot yesterday. We talked about him as the player to watch. Does he need to step up today, or is there other guys that can do the same?
There's other guys. They have Ricks. They have Roka, guys that Stanislaw had a great day yesterday as well. These are guys that can have huge impact for that team. So there's a lot of other options for them to step up. The thing about Tempo Storm, very much, still a pretty young team actually when you think of how long they've been together. So they rely on those aim battles, and that nature of that kind of a team structure is a little bit shaky, a little bit inconsistent until they get a little bit more organization.
Of course, like you say, they did have good performances. They lately have been the trending team in North America, but they're also going against Team Liquid, who've had the struggles in the past, but in the recent months have been one of the better teams, specifically online for sure, in terms of how they've been performing. Blue, we see their roster on screen. Thoughts about them going into this game?
Yeah, they've had some good results recently. They managed to make it over to DreamHack Valencia. Didn't really do too well at that event itself, but at least going on these interregional matchups that Moses talked a lot about yesterday, we've seen them do fairly well here. And we saw that yesterday. They kind of just stuck to their usual strategies. They didn't do anything super duper impressive, and it worked out great for them. They were able to come out through and beat Tempo exactly with the usual strategy they play.
Yeah, and that's the thing as well. One thing that Liquid did really good, Tempo Storm was trying to be aggressive on the CT side of Cash yesterday, and Liquid playing so passive early on was able to punish some of those pushes. So if they could do that again, if Tempo Storm was going to oblige them and just continue with that kind of a play, and Liquid can continue to punish that, they're going to have a lot of easy rounds where they don't necessarily need to have the greatest post-plant positionings.
And as well, Nitro, we kind of mentioned yesterday, we wanted to see the old school Nitro, the aggressive Nitro. And we did see a lot of that on entry, so if he can continue on, but again, it is Cash.
Yeah, and Cash specifically is a map that Nitro was fantastic on against Fnatic at that, ESL that was so far ago. But I mean, that's the thing. We haven't seen him get back up to that level, and if he gets there, I mean, that's great for Liquid.
And of course, their defensive side as well, with he and Elige that play over toward A. Fugly, sorry, that play over toward A is absolutely impenetrable at times. Blue, again, going back to yesterday's game, is that a concern, though? Do we need to see more mid-presence out of essentially Shazam getting picks there, taking more control of that portion of the map?
I think a big thing that we need to see controlled here coming out of Tempo Storm is more of the economy game, because we saw that yesterday is that they kind of just started to play this really aggressive game where they tried to force themselves up because they had gotten so far behind, but we noticed that didn't really happen in the game. They ended up playing against Noble. They were able to contain that, and they actually kind of mimicked Liquid a little bit there with that own strategy and just holding back a little more and playing that more passive strategy. If they can get their economy into a good position early on in these halves and then just play that strategy that Liquid likes to play, then maybe they'll have a chance to counter them out.
Yeah, we did just see Fugly on screen, who we mentioned, another guy who's not necessarily hyped up at all times, but he's fairly consistent fragging as well, playing that support role with Nitro, and obviously seeing Tempo Storm. Those guys have both been here for a while, been warmed up heading into this. Sank's extra warm with the air conditioning, and here he's got the sweater on, but yesterday, these guys, again, obviously have a lot of time to play this map. Does it, again, execution for you, same question. How do they have to approach this to beat that defense from Liquid?
They need to be a little bit more patient. It is going to be, if Shazam can find some of those picks, that'll be great to really open things up. But it's got to be more, team-oriented. It can't be just, these one players pushing and getting aggression. A lot of this map is the entries. I mean, you talk about that defense at A, with Fugly and Nitro. If they're able to just sit back behind those smokes and lock down that bomb site, I mean, Tempo Storm's got to find a way to get those kills, because one thing we saw to Liquid yesterday in this matchup specifically was Liquid's trading was on point. It was really, really well done from them.
And of course, we'll talk about the implications of this game. Obviously, a loser is eliminated, they're gone, but the winner crosses over, so it's a crossover format to play CLG. Moving into that matchup, I guess, first off, prediction on this one, and who would have the better chance against CLG's play style?
I'm going to have Liquid taking this one. I know it is harder to be the team who won the original matchup to play that rematch. It is harder for the team that won the original, but I'm still going to take Liquid.
And I think I would have to agree with that one as well, just going a little bit further towards Liquid. Tempo Storm had some good performances, but I'm not sure if we're going to see as rapid of an adjustment, especially with how new the roster is. We'll have to wait and see, though, as it'll be a very close matchup to decide it.
It's definitely going to be good. I mean, it is a grudge match, right? We knew this was going to happen in Group A, that these two teams would be in play for this. And like you say, kind of that coming in from the bottom approach with Tempo Storm, it's revenge. I love that they went back to the same map. That shows that they have the confidence in the mistakes, that they can correct them today and get things rolling in a much better fashion. Again, we've talked a little bit about Shazam. Again, Nitro as well, but Adren, in-game leading for Liquid, has tidied things up a little bit. He's going to be counter-opping against Shazam. Yesterday, that battle never really developed as we expected it to. Do we potentially see more of that today? Actually, to go immediately to that point, the T side, he brought out the op a lot more than we thought.
Yeah, well, he also mentioned that he doesn't really like to op on the T side, so it all depends. I think at the time he brought it out, they were struggling on their Terra side, and he wanted to do it to change things up, and it actually had a pretty decent effect there for a little bit. The big player for Liquid, because, Nitro, when we talked about how good he was doing in the past, it was when he was being a more entry role for that iBuyPower lineup he was on. He doesn't want to do that anymore, so they bring Flowsick in, and Flowsick yesterday had some great entries on the A-bomb site. That helps open things up, so I think a lot is on how successful Flowsick is going to be into those initial battles.
And of course, Flowsick came in to replace the departed Daps, who's gone over to Elevate as their new in-game leader, and since he's come in, that's really been the turnaround of the team. So that's, I mean, it's kind of like Cloud9 bringing in Freakazoid just to play that role. For you, Blue, as well, has Flowsick stood out as well, and again, is he going to be able to get those same picks, or is Tempo Storm going to play more passive against their lurk style?
I'm hoping Tempo Storm have learned to adapt and sort of play against the Team Liquid strategy a little bit more, as unfortunately Team Liquid did have a superior strategy coming in yesterday's match. But as you mentioned, Flowsick, the recent addition to him, obviously we saw him, it was kind of iffy a little bit at first, as is really any new addition to a team, but he's really gelled with the team, and he's really become an integral part since then, pulling off very crucial frags. And I was talking to their coach earlier, and he was saying he's done a really good job of rounding out the team and sort of maturing them as well and improving their comms.
Yeah, and again, just bringing in that role player, and just to go back to talk about that strategy that we did kind of allude to, it's Liquid being very slow-paced at the start of things, and the impatient plays can actually get caught off guard. Shazam yesterday was actually looking and hunting for a lot of kills inside A main on the CT side. He was looking out towards Squeaky Door. We saw double pushes there that actually got shut down just because Liquid was always waiting. We're always in a position if one person got overwhelmed with that push, a second player, a Dren, whoever was at mid waiting for the boost, would pop back out and be able to support. So again, do they have to play more disciplined, I guess would be the word on the CT side.
Yeah, and especially if they start getting down in some of the rounds and maybe even the economy. I mean, these are players that, talking to them, they after reviewing this VOD from last night, they were just like, yeah, we threw away a lot of rounds, a lot of opportunities for us. They were like, we had that one and we gave too many things up. And they know that when they got down, they were trying to make too many plays, trying to be too aggressive. So yeah, be a little bit more patient, a little bit more composed, even in the face of that adversity.
Well, it's definitely going to be an interesting matchup without question. I guess final thoughts, you guys have already put it in prediction, but final thoughts, final storyline that we need to tie together, anything you want to highlight before we get underway?
I think overall we're just going to have to wait and see. Liquid had a strong hold on this map yesterday, but Tempo Storm, of course, now they're going to have to try and make the comeback happen and see if what they've learned from yesterday's matchup.
All right, guys, well, take it away, Moses in blue, because we are into the pistol round.
Yeah, it's going to be really fast play. Elige falling back. Flowsick bails him out. Roka jumps right through, but there's Shazam with the trade. So now Elige has got a lot to do. He gets gooshed in the back of the site. He's got to hold off. He's got to see what he can do. Delay a little bit longer, but one more bullet and he's down, and there it is. Shazam gets that kill.
Dren trying to hold his position, but it's not going to work out, so Automatic is able to take him down, and now you're stuck with just 2 players from Liquid left alive, forced off the site on the heaven ramp right now, so they're going to get pushed out. We'll see Nitro toss in that grenade, but they have to try and rework something, but overall not a lot left to do. They do connect that grenade, and it brings Automatic down to 8 HP, but now they need to try and find a way back in. That smoke's actually going to be in a brilliant position here, as it does obscure vision. It'll force a couple repositions, but unfortunately, Automatic's still there and still picking off those shots. He's going to be able to drop Nitro, and now it's all on Fugly.
Yeah, not much he can do against 3 players. Great setup here. Does grab 1, that's low HP Automatic, but it's planted for Checkers. There's the Molotov as well. That seals the deal. Fugly, nothing he can do, even with the kit. No time to do it. He's just going to try and save that 5-7 in the kit, but Stan's not going to let him get away. So very, very aggressive, basically a rush on that B bomb site, just swarms the defense, not prepared for it whatsoever. So the rotates can't get there in time. That's the first round for Tempo Storm. And
Tempo Storm now pulling ahead, going for their first upgrades here. We see 3 SMGs out on the board, waiting for Automatic Spy to see what he's going to go for, but he'll actually go right for the AK, it looks like here. And as for Rix, he's going to pick up a Galil as well. Armor for everybody and a couple flashes. A little bit light on the smoke, so probably just going to see a very quick execution here. And as for Liquid, they have forced it up here with Fugly picking up the Scout. 2 more 5.7s, a P250, as well as a CZ on Elige.
Yeah, so here, I mean, this is their stack over towards B for Liquid. But, I mean, this is Tempo Storm playing very passively, much like Liquid did yesterday, so they don't want to get caught off guard by anything. Now a fourth player, Dren, actually comes over to B, so they're pretty confident that at the end of this round, this is going to be a B hit from Tempo Storm, and they haven't committed anywhere quite yet.
I think that was the thing for Tempo Storm, and this is why they're playing this much slower now. Now that they're getting an economy advantage early on, they don't want to take any chances, even though Liquid, of course, they don't know they're force buying as of yet, but just assuming that they even maybe on an eco here, they don't want to take the chance on a couple players getting dropped and having their economy get destabilized so early.
Yeah, and neither team really prodding for info whatsoever. This is just a blind stack from Liquid, and, I mean, Tempo Storm just grouping up now, walking out mid. They're going to see what they can find, so Fugly's all alone at A with that Scout. And it looks like it's going to be a mid-B split, so they're going to walk right into this.
Nitro was able to spot it, though, so they are going to be able to try and rotate a couple more players over. Flowsick's in a great position. Elige as well is going to pick up another frag, but Rix, he's going to find it 2 for himself there as they try to get themselves into the site. Automatic as well coming out, but Elige, he's going to be able to take out yet another one with the CZ. Quickly stopped by Automatic, however, but now it's all on Fugly. He gets completely shut down by Shazam for Tempo Storm to pick up the second.
Yeah, that initially looked really good for Liquid, running into that stack, getting the opening kills, but Rix is able to even things up, and then they eventually take it. The overwhelming firepower they have with those rifles and SMGs. But some good economic damage done there from Liquid. They get 3 kills. Now it's a full save for them going forward towards the first gun round.
And this is probably just going to be your typical eco strat. Everybody pushing up mid right now, going to try to take up position and waiting for a mid push here to come out from Tempo. It's actually going to work out for them, but unfortunately they're just getting shut down here. Automatic with 2 and Shazam with a 3rd. Roka and Shazam close it out again, and that's round number 3 for Tempo. No trouble at all.
Yeah, another good call on the stack for Team Liquid. They read it where they were going to go that round. They had the players there. They just don't have the firepower to really compete with the AK. So now it's that first gun round. Because of the second round buy, it's going to be light on the kits, light on the nades a little bit.
We'll have to see exactly where they go from here. Big turning point, obviously, with the first gun round in play. If Liquid can start to get themselves through here and start to destroy the economy for Tempo, then they are going to force them probably into that more aggressive play, which is where they started to make mistakes yesterday. Team Liquid, of course, they drop here, though, and Tempo Storm is going to get the run of the mill and probably at least get themselves up to 5 or 6 points if they can take the next gun round as well. But the positions now coming out from Tempo Storm, moving it over to A this time, where there has been a significant amount of B play so far in these eco rounds. Going to try to switch it up now, but Nitro doing a good job with the hold. He gets a 2 for 1. Rix finally able to eliminate him, and Fugly as well. Unfortunately, not able to hold his position too well. Shazam also finding an option to take out a Dren, and now it's Flowsick and Elige. Flowsick, though, sneaking his way up on upper, but I do believe Automatic just spotted him, so he's not going to be as sneaky as he thinks he is.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough retake. There's Elige coming in, grabs a nice shot onto Rix. Now he's got to deal with one in A main, and he does get that flow sick, and that's a really nice clean retake from Team Liquid. 2-on-3, and they obliterate it. And this is Tempo Storm. The first pistol round where they just rushed B. This round they just come through the smoke at A, very aggressive, not caring, going through it, getting into the action. Not able to convert that one. So nicely done from Elige and Flowsick in that.
And Team Liquid, because they were a little bit limited, actually were not able to pick up an op on that fourth gun round, or that first gun round, I should say there. So they're actually going to pick up a free one off of Shazam's body, and now that's going to get tossed over to Adren, as he's going to use that here on the CT side.
Another buy out of Tempo Storm with that bomb plant. Really strong utility behind it as well. They're staying grouped up. Yesterday we saw them get a little bit spread out in some of these rounds, and they got punished. And here's a boost. Quick boost over. Shazam's coming through the smoke. Bugly gets that first one. It's another mid-stack. Equal trades until there. Nitro gives Liquid the advantage, 3-on-2. Roka's going to try and find a battle here. He knows he's more than likely got a 1-on-1 over at the same bomb site.
And as Roka pushes forward here, he's going to get a really good angle, possibly against Nitro, but he gets wise to that one and starts to move out a little more. He's actually going to work his way up on upper plat, but Roka will not be able to see him too well. Stanislaw, however, will spot him, picks up a great headshot, and now they're onto the site. They're going to be able to put this bomb down, and again, it's been evened out into a 2-on-2. However, unfortunately for Team Liquid's players, both of them moving over from the B side at this point. Two are going to be working, apologies, I should correct myself. One working over towards truck corner, and another one trying to get his way out towards Z.
Yeah, and Roka gets into A main just to watch the flank. It is planted for him as well, so he's in a safe spot. It's going to be another retake. Adren still has that AWP, and there's Roka, finds the perfect timing, covers his teammate. Adren does trade off Stanislaw, 1-on-1 now.
It looks like Adren might just stick this. He gets flashed, tries to take a shot and misses that. So Roka is going to find another kill. And there you go now. Tempo Storm reclaim that round, bring it up to 4-1 here. And that was a good play there. Getting out of the site, just getting himself even behind the boxes there too, just to get out of the way in case we saw that aggressive peek coming out from Adren to try and take him out early. He was cautious of that and waited for that defuse timer, did exactly what he needed to do, and just executed it from there.
Yeah, really good play. Even with that flashbang, Roka, Adren was trying to time that peak, but he just jiggles it just a little bit. Once he hears that shot, he commits. Nice 1-on-1 victory. And now, once again, Tempo Storm grouped up, heading over towards B. Very aggressive, not slowing things down, getting into the action. Oh, Elige with 2 kills. That's huge. He does some damage on the third as well, but that's a good find. They might be able to turn this into something.
Automatic now trying to get himself in, watching out for the vents push, but he does look away just as the CTs are starting to get into a position to push in, and now he's stuck in this site as well. Not really a whole lot of support coming in from his teammates just yet, and Bugly with a peek there finds a great headshot on a Stanislaw. That's going to take him down, and now they're coming in for the retake. Automatic, no health at all. That's an easy nade kill for him, but now Shazam is the last one alive. He's cornered, and Adren's going to take him out for another response now coming out from Liquid.
Yeah, that's a crucial win as well, right when the economy gets reset. So they do pick up an AWP. They have a free AK-47 as well, and Flowsick's going to keep that P90 more than likely. And not a great turnaround. I mean, Elige gets those 2 kills. The corners were not cleared properly by Tempo Storm, so that's just them trying to be a little bit too aggressive and too confident of that B site. No one looks that way, and he gets a double. And then it's just a swarmed retake.
Bugly going for the pretty typical smoke out here through mid. Tempo Storm going to split themselves up here once again with a 2-1-2 split. Keeping the bomb a little bit over towards A main right now. 2 more are going to work their way into Squeaky Hall. In fact, one moving back now. That's going to be Stanislaw. And 2 more, of course. One still inside T-spawn and Automatic looking out for a push to come through the B halls.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to go for this mid-play once again. Stanislaw boosted up, trying to see if he can find someone. Automatic's ready to come through the smoke to support him. Nitro's the one who's going to spot it. Could get overwhelmed. He's peeking out pretty wide. And now he's going to start falling back, but he might not be able to get away. They're going to turn this corner. Now he's got to fight completely blind, but no one's peeking from Tempo Storm, so they let Nitro get off the hook. He gets away, and now they have mid, but where do you go from here?
Nitro trying to move away from this one, and already 4 kills out on the board. Pretty much, as you said, there's really nowhere to go from here at this point. Obviously, Stanislaw is completely stuck in the middle, completely surrounded by his opponents. Now he's given away his position. They're just going to rush outside of Z. He almost takes out one, but it's not enough, obviously. And Team Liquid there, a brilliant hold in middle, and unfortunately, Tempo Storm just can't push through that.
This, nope, it's going to be a buy up here. They do have 2 players, Automatic, Stanislaw, just 33 and 3,400, so they're going to be in a little bit of a low buy. That round, that eco they just lost has got to be killing them, because right before this match, they said, you know what, we should have had that win last night. We threw away too many rounds that let Liquid get the advantage, and they just threw away another one there, so this is putting Liquid right back in it.
Positions here now from Tempo Storm as they try to get themselves into a good push spot. As we'll see now, boost coming up from Shazam. He's going to look for any action over here towards middle, see if he can pick up any early frags, but so far nobody from Liquid peeking into his pane of view, so might end up jumping down to regroup with his team, or just will sit here to stay stable for now.
Yeah, no aggression. I mean, most of these, the first gun round, the first pistol round were very fast-paced, and very aggressive out of Tempo Storm. This time it's a little bit slower. Elige is going to win that battle. Shazam peeking up on the boost, no support whatsoever, so no one's there to trade that kill. Elige was in the open. You could have punished it, Adren with the AWP in the back of A. He gets brought down very low, almost a kill for Rix, but Roka's been hit up as well, down to 14 HP. There's a nice kill through the door.
Yeah, Roka actually going to be able to pick one off through the door there. Takes down Nitro. And keep in mind here, too, there's another one fairly close that's also really low. That's going to be Adren at just 9 HP. He, however, still holding his own, and Fugly coming in is going to stop Roka. Good molly combo in addition to Fugly just going for the fire there. Another molly's going to go deep, and I think it is going to split up the two remaining players here from Tempo Storm, and now in comes Flowsick with that B90. He's going to be able to take out Stanislaw, and the jump kill to take out Automatic as well. They eliminate him, and now we're in a tie game here, 4-4. And again, that was a little bit odd to see from Tempo Storms, more specifically from Shazam there too. He kind of just blindly peeked middle, gave away his life, and there was no reaction to that from Tempo Storm. They didn't use that to push into another site or anything.
Yeah, it was just early on in the round that the player in mid is still smoked out, so he's either forced to run through that into a potential stack, but either way, it's an easy kill for Elige. And now back onto a save. I mean, that was the thing. They bought that round with light utility, so they kind of had to take those battles, but they're going to quickly come into B. Flow6 ready, though. He throws out a flash. He sprays two down. There's Elige popping out as well. They're going to clean that up very, very easily. And
that was just a textbook crossfire setup there in the B site. Tempo Storm tried to brute force their way through it. No luck at all.
Here's the full buy out of Tempo Storm. So 5-4 for Liquid.
Yo, he's always in checker below vents, Elige. Danny, I'm ready on you.
Alright, smoke now.
All right, and we're back, guys. Now we take a look at the entry coming in from Tempo Storm. They do get smoked off, but they're still going to try to push their way through here now. Maybe get a flash through, but they're stuck, and Elige picks up 2 kills as they're lined up. Shazam and Stanislaw both behind that box, and those are easy frags again. Adren also getting himself into the picture, and Elige picking up a 4th here now for Team Liquid. Now all Rix left alive, not even getting himself into the site, just as if he had best course of action at this point. Maybe find 1 or 2 frags and then get the heck out of there, but that won't be happening. Nitro finds him, and Liquid so far now shutting down the offense from Tempo Storm now that they finally stabilized their economy.
Well, and you got to think, too, that eco round that Liquid wins, that was at 4-1 for Tempo Storm. They had a chance to really snowball this half in their favor, have complete control of the economy moving forward, and instead it's 6-4 now, 5 straight for Liquid after that eco round. So that one round has dictated a lot, and now Tempo Storm on another force buy. Only 2 smokes to work with.
And they're pushing directly as to where the counter smokes are coming out from Team Liquid at this point. They have them completely blocked off. They really can't even push all the way through the halls to get themselves just outside of Team A, so they're stuck completely in the back. Elige as well is set up, but he is going to move away from this as there is a small amount of rotation coming out towards A, because look at this aggression from Stanislaw. He's actually pushed all the way into the A site, and he is going to bait that rotation out. However, they haven't spotted anything else yet, and I think Fugly is going to call this one as Fugly there has his crosshair set right onto Stanislaw. He's going to be able to find him from the boosted spot. Now we have to see where exactly Tempo Storm are going to take this. Flowsick, good setup, only gets a 1-for-1 trade there, though, so he's going to get dropped pretty quickly by Shazam after his teammate falls. And now they go right back into the vents, and they're going to try to work this B-take again. Yeah,
and Fugly's on a quick flank. He just pushed through A main. I think Automatic might have heard it, but either way, they're going to come into this B bomb site. Rix is blocked off by Molotov. He spots one into the bomb site. Adren's in CT spawn with the AWP, and because they had low utility, they only had 2 smokes for this whole round. They can't block them off, so now they're stuck in checkers. They're going to have to be aggressive. They're going to have to risk it, all the while Fugly still flanking from A. Elige just trying to delay in the bomb site, not giving his life away, not letting them in for free. Shazam's going to creep his way up, and he actually might catch him off guard, but no, there's Elige with the movement. Shazam wins it anyways, right below Adren. He's trying to push towards CT spawn, but with 1 HP and a 2-on-1, and the bomb down, 20 seconds, there's not much Shazam can do now. This is a good defense out of Liquid we're seeing.
Adren knows exactly where he's at. He should know. He was looking at him a moment ago there, but actually no, Shazam's going to be able to pick up this frag. Somebody finds that headshot. Now going to try to get aggressive, but he's got to be very careful, obviously, next to that molly, and only 10 seconds left on the clock. It even spreads over the bomb now, too. It goes away, but he's going to rush this plant, and obviously, again, we could just see Fugly push it, but no, Shazam! He's not actually going to be able to get that plant down, and it's far too late now.
I believe now he's going to get the extra 300, but that doesn't do much for you, so even with 1 HP, almost managing to, he turns it into a 1-on-1, but can't do anything from there, so 7-4 now for Team Liquid. Their money is completely built up. 16,000 for Adren. Flowsick got 15,000 plus. Fugly still has 15,000. They're not going to have to save anytime soon.
With an economy like that on the CT side, it's going to take so long for Tempo Storm to break through that. Best case scenario now is trying to get back here, and they just have to win so many gun rounds in a row that it's not looking good, and it's looking, or I should say it's looking good for Team Liquid to come ahead in this first half here. And now we see the positioning coming out once more here. Team Liquid just going to set themselves up pretty normally with these smokes that come out. Actually, they're going to have to move a couple more players possibly over towards B with Stanislav finding an opening pick. No other pushes coming out from that and no other intel, however, so we won't see a big reaction for that. Roka, of course, lined up with a Deagle, getting ready to push in from Streaky Door, but Fugly seems to have his wits about them and is in a good position to counter this out.
This is the second round that Stanislav for Tempo Storm has found that first kill of the round. He's found the opening pick for his team. Now they definitely need to capitalize. They've lost 6 in a row. They can't keep up at this pace, so they have to win this round.
Rook, of course, waiting for his teammates to get in a position now to go for that push out of the door. Team Liquid slowly catching on to this, however, as they rotate more and more of their forces over towards a mid position and closer to getting into that A site. So now they're going to push out Fugly already there in that corner. As we said before, 1, 2, 3, and Roka might be the fourth. A little bit of trouble, though, as he actually runs out of ammo, so Roka's going to take him down. But, of course, now you also have Shazam getting a piece of the action as he finds a way through middle. He's going to start working his way up highway to take control there, and he's actually going to get dropped by Adren as he goes through the peak there through Z. And there Roka as well is going to get dropped by Nitro. So that's an 8th for Liquid, and they're really starting to push ahead so far in this half now. Yeah,
that's a great round from Fugly, just patiently just taking those shots. No one's able to clear it. No one's able to force him out of that position. So he has some easy shots with that crossfire with Nitro at the forklift. Well done from Team Liquid. And we talked about before this matchup that Tempo Storm going to have to maintain their composure in this kind of a situation. They know they gave it up, but they haven't even been able to find much success since then. It's been all Liquid.
They're trying to set themselves up for these takes, but again, just no entries at all. Unfortunately, no real ways into the site. We saw that opening pick coming out before from, I believe, was automatic, but it's not going to end up working out in their favor as they don't really utilize that with their attempt to push around.
Adren with his AWP on the CT side is being so mobile. He's giving them so many different looks, whether it's playing at A, playing in mid, playing over at B now, behind the box and checkers. And this is really, I mean, Tempo Storm can't get a good read on how they want to call it because they have no clue, they have no concept of where Adren is.
We're going to see that we're going to see an example of that now as Tempo Storm just sort of sitting back here. They're waiting for the push to come out. They are going to end up going just for a blind mid push here. No flashes or anything used to try and keep it a little bit more quiet, but keep in mind here, there's a couple Team Liquid players in the area. They're actually going to move away from this one as Stanislav will find the opening peak here. He's going to be able to take out Nitro, and now they do have control of Highway, but Flowstick's about to peek out against them. He does get this flash, but it's not going to work out. Stanislav again there, finding a headshot into Flowstick. Now they're going to take control of CT, but Adren's there. He's able to drop Roka. Stanislav again, though, finding now Elise, but Adren still holding that B site, coming out with another up shot, but not expecting. I believe that's Automatic to hang it out there, and now Automatic is going to be able to take him out, and it's all on Fugly at this point, so it looks like finally Tempo Storm will get control of a round.
Yeah, Stanislav doing some work for his team in these past 3 rounds. 3 opening kills in a row. This time he adds 2 more onto the tally, but it's not over yet. Fugly through vents finds Rix. Throw Molotov into the bomb site, try and force play out of position. Flash himself through the smoke. Now he's in. I think he spotted Shazam there. He's going to flash towards CT spawn. He's going to take that battle. He spots one, and actually Shazam's ready for it. Not caught off guard whatsoever. So that is the 5th round for Tempo Storm. Their first round in quite some time. It was 7 straight for Liquid.
And all coming off the hands bear of Stanislav as well. Going out through mid, he was the entry fragger.
Yeah,
he was the one to pick up 3 frags to basically get them full control of whichever site they wanted to go towards, and it was easy pickings from there as he brought it down to a 3-on-1.
Absolutely, and they need more of that. Stanislav, they have 5 rounds, so off the back of that early success, I mean, they haven't found some since, but this is a pretty good half out of them despite their struggles they've had recently.
We'll go for going for a typical A take here as we take a look. 4 inside of A main, 1 working over towards Squeaky. Not a lot of action in the middle though, so this does leave it open for a flank, but they're not going to have time to do it as they come out. Not expecting Fugly to be in the boost spot though, so he's going to be able to pick up 2 in these mollies so perfectly positioned at this point. Look at this. There's nowhere for Tempo Storm to go right now.
Yeah, this is that A defense. It's just locked down A defense. Fugly's very low. He eventually does fall. So does Flowstick, but still have Nitro to deal with in the bomb site, playing so patiently. Behind Fugly, who's just racking up on the kills, and Nitro's just playing it very smart, not giving away his life. And no opening for Roka there, 9-5. And heading into this last round, it's going to be a pretty weak buy out of Tempo Storm.
And looking likely for a 10th here, unless we see some big plays coming out from the Tempo Storm side. And unfortunately here again, all coming down to the fact that they just had so much trouble. We saw an exception to that in the previous round where they were able to take mid-control early, but so much trouble just making progress on controlling the map overall and finding entries that are needed to get that control. They just couldn't work anything from there, and so many times got shut down just from typical setups from Liquid.
Yeah, now Nitro has the AWP, so he switches things up, and he grabs the first one. Adren said he had the opportunity to pick up one up if he wanted to. He only gets 1. Fugly chimes in with 2 more, able to deal some damage. It's going to be the bomb site. Oh, a nice nade, and now a Molotov to follow up on the plant spot. Rix can't go anywhere near the bomb site. He does have an AWP to work with, and a 1-on-3. He's going to get himself positioned over at the forklift, see if he can find some 1-on-1s.
Now he's going to slowly push forward to this one. He should have a good idea as to where Adren's position, but unfortunately he's still obscured here behind Shed. Now Adren Looking to peek out against him here in just a moment, but he's actually going to switch to the Tech 9, goes around the corner. He's going to win that trade, able to drop him down, but keep in mind he's actually gotten out of this flank against Flowstick now too, but gets caught on a weapon swap there, and Team Liquid are going to take him down anyway. So that'll be the half, 10-5 in the favor of Team Liquid here, and a very strong CT side once again.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Tempo Storm actually could have ended up winning that half and having a very dominant half. They gave up that one anti-eco where they just lost it to pistols, and from there it was just downhill. That's when Team Liquid really racked things up, and we couldn't see Tempo Storm adjust to gain some momentum back after that. So, I mean, they get 5 rounds, so it's not like the half was wholly lost, but that could have been much better, and they know it. And I think that really affected their composure in that first half.
Oh, yeah, I agree completely as we take a look at some of the replays here, and hopefully we'll get a chance to see that. This is exactly it right here. Flowstick picking up 2. Elige here as well, coming out big. 1-2 for him. That was a huge play. Got all the intel. In addition to that, teammates could have easily rotated into the site, and just a perfect execution from there. They held it back and brought it down to Shazam, and he was an easy takedown from there. Yeah,
this is just fugly. These are 3 easy kills from him. No one even looking his way. No pressure from door. And it's just that, once again, Tempo Storm got into that situation where they were just losing rounds in a row, and they were force buying. They didn't have all the utilities they needed. You know, if they have one molly, they can force him out of that position, maybe get a pick on it, force him into the open, but with those force buys, they just couldn't do it.
All right, guys, well, we are going back into the match now. So here we go. Team Liquid switching it up back over onto the T side. And as for Tempo Storm, they're going to mount up the CT side. Very crucial pistol round here for Tempo Storm due to the economy issues we just saw in the first half. If they can't get something going here early, it's definitely going to be a bad omen for the rest of the half.
Yeah, but look at this. Just like yesterday, very patient play, far back, looking for any kind of a push. Nothing coming from Tempo Storm, and they're very spread out across the map as a defense. They have 2 over at A. Shazam's at the truck. Automatic just spotting for mid. This is the same pistol round that Liquid had. They had those 3 players with the bomb set up far back outside B to watch for that standard, that new kind of pistol round we're seeing on Cash. Not really new anymore, but where teams choose to be aggressive at B to gain that map control, to gain the intel, and just have an A player playing retake.
That'll be a Dren pushing forward here from Team Liquid. Fugly lined up for the push over through Squeaky. Put Rick's in a very stable position, waiting for that peek to come out through A main. Keep in mind, though, now out to his left, he is going to have another player watching out for him in quad corner, waiting for that peek, but he is out of position right now and not actually going to spot this cross coming out from the Liquid players. He does spot the door opening, however, and now the action's going to get started as they go for quick control of quad, but not going to find it so easily here. Flowstick and Elige, however, just deck the players here from Tempo Storm to the ground. Rix and Roka, they're going to get knocked out, and now they have no control of this A site. Nobody left here to try and challenge it. They're trying to find a way back in, but they're smoked off at this point, and there's really no clean shots.
Yeah, really good job by Liquid staggering those smokes to really confuse Tempo Storm. Now the retake is on. Shazam does find one. He's down to 64. He's pushing his way to the bomb site. 2 in quad to deal with, waiting for the second peaks to come out. There goes Automatic. Shazam finds one. Can he get another one? He can't. Fugly ends it. 2 kills there to close out that pistol round for Team Liquid. 11-5 now.
And now we got to ask ourselves, what's the appropriate response here from Tempo Storm at this point? Down 6 rounds, and we know that they like to play that more aggressive game, but is it really worth it to push it at this point, or do you want to save and wait for that gun round before you try to force it up?
I mean, down 11-5, I think you need to buy here. They're not going to, so this will be an opportunity for Liquid to kind of balloon their money. But this is a situation now where Tempo Storm, maybe even the first gun round, since they're going to save these 2, call a pause and just talk about, you know, what they're going to do. Make sure they're on the same page, because with these saves, they have to get started on that gun round. They cannot afford to lose it whatsoever.
Now lining up for Events push here, but keep in mind below him you do have Stanislaw to worry about, and he is going to drop down, but Stanislaw able to find the headshot. Of course, it was a double push as Elige was right behind him, so Elige is able to make up for that and get a 1-for-1 trade. Automatic trying to find those shots with the Deagle, but doesn't pick up anything, and Shazam as well gets completely denied as Fugly goes for that spray back up towards Heaven. Now it's just Rix and Roka. They're looking to find what they can, but Flowstick, great position being taken up by him. He knew there was going to be an attempt to re-enter there from the vents, and immediately just waited for that to happen. And now they know the position of Roka as well, so literally no chance for this to happen. Just looking for any kills he can get here. He did bring Fugly down to 24, but unable to find that final shot that was needed.
Yeah, couldn't get the killing blow, so 12-5 now. Once again, not buying up armor, upgrading to some P250s for Tempo Storm. And that's just Liquid patient, and they decide where to go at the end, and they were very coordinated, very much team. Their trades are so good, coming out of the vents, even losing one, even though it's just to a USP. The trade that comes after that, and they just overwhelm that B bomb site.
And already here now we see the players from Tempo Storm trying to go for a sort of Hail Mary stack at this point. 3 were lined up to hold B, and as well they're going to rotate 1 more back over towards A since there is no quick push coming out, but it actually is going to end up probably levitating towards the B site right now, so this should work out for them. Shazam holding a very close position, but gets completely blinded by that flash, so Nitro's going to get in. He finds 2 entries right off the bat. Shazam and Stanislaw can't pick up anything against him, so he's going to clear out checkers. Now they've got partial control. They're moving in through the halls now, and there's actually nobody left on site here, I don't believe, either. So we're going to wait for a couple more guys. They're going to line up for CT main as well as Heaven entry point, but take a look there. Rix did manage to drop down, but again, that's Nitro picking up the frag, but Automatic here in the corner, finally going to be able to find something for the players on Tempo Storm, but at the end of the day, not going to matter too much as Liquid are just rolling around the entire map right now to clean things up.
Yeah, not really too much success on those eco rounds, even just getting some kills. So the Mac-10's doing some work, building up the bank. Now we're going to see Shazam with that AWP. We talked about the fact that he needed to be effective for his team. He couldn't do it on the Terra side. They never really even had money for him to have an AWP on that Terra side. So, I mean, that's the thing. The only person that we really saw getting entry kills for Tempo Storm on that first half was Stanislaw because Shazam couldn't afford the op.
So lining it up now, Shazam going to take a fairly typical position for the out back over here inside of Z. The rest of Team Liquid as well. Actually might go for a little bit of mid control as they are lining up to push themselves out for that now, and they are going to do so, but smoke coverage is going to allow them to get to vents without any contention whatsoever unless we see those blind shots coming out. The relocation actually comes out from Tempo Storm fairly early, but it's going to be towards the wrong direction. However, that's not too much trouble for Automatic and Stanislaw. Great hold there through checkers. They're going to be able to take out 2 players, and as well, flashes come in, so Stanislaw blind, but Automatic is there to cover for his teammate. Unfortunately, Adren does get a superior angle. He is able to take down Stanislaw, but so much time has passed now, and Tempo Storm is going to have plenty of time to rotate into a counter position. Now Rix is able to take out the vents coverage as well. He's going to drop Nitro, and now there's no escape, unfortunately, for these Team Liquid players.
Yeah, they got obliterated. That didn't work out the way they wanted to at all. They had a good opening, actually, when they throw that smoke wall to get out mid. Shazam, who was watching mid with the AWP, actually rotated towards A. That smoke wall usually indicates you want to do a mid-B split, but he went towards A. He was over at Truck, so he was very far away from supporting that B site. They had just the 2 players there, but a good crossfire from Stanislaw and Automatic, so they shut that down. Well done from them. That's a clean victory as well. They had a lot of players alive at the end of that. That's good, so they can build up some economy now behind this. They can get the utilities they need. They bring out some more defuse kits.
Team Liquid, of course, still going to be able to rebuy for themselves. They're still got full AKs for everybody, and as well, pretty much full grenades with 3 mollies on the table here, too. So still with plenty that could enable them to go for an entry. But again, going to that much more passive strategy this time around as they sit back. They're going to wait for their opportunity. They're going to wait for Tempo Storm to push forward and make their own mistakes. And if time should come low enough, then they'll push into a site when they absolutely have to.
Yeah, very patient, once again, from Team Liquid. Same setup from Tempo Storm. Rix and Roka over at A, Stanislaw and Automatic at B, doubling up in the sites. Shazam with the AWP. They're relying on him to maintain mid control. Meanwhile, Flowsick, this is a smoke that's going to show a little bit of a crack in it so he can peek out towards quad. He's got to be careful about Rix, who's at the forklift. He could end the dream very, very quickly. Eats a nade as well, and he's not even going to go for it. He's just going to fall back passively, try and spam the door a little bit. But all of Liquid is gearing up for this A hit now.
And the smokes will come in, as will the flashes here. Roka's going to try to get his own response, and he gets that one out, but no peeks as of yet coming out from Team Liquid, so this isn't really going to work out so well. Tries to pop out another one. I believe this connects onto a Team Liquid player this time, and so far, Automatic and Shazam, they're in the position to do this. Here comes Roka as well, but he only finds 1. However, his teammates have done more than a good enough job, and now Nitro is the last one alive. Tries to get this flash off. Shazam tries to go for the peek, and we'll see him. Nitro, you're getting dinked down to 5 HP as Shazam goes for that quick swap over to the pistol. But he does have control for now, and if he could get control of that bomb, at least to get it down, that'll be a small victory, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. He does pick off a headshot, however. He's going to take out Stanislaw, looking for another, but it's not going to happen as that fire blooms out, and it will be the thing that takes him down.
Yeah, surrounded by Molotovs, and these defenses from Tempo Storm, that's 2 good crossfires they've set up at B last round and at A this round, and they just demolished the attack. So Liquid not finding success on the entries on these executes.
And that's the kind of up and down, in my opinion, of Team Liquid's more passive strategy, where they wait to see if they can find any earlier frags and then decide based on that which site to push. Unfortunately there, Tempo Storm, when they peeked out, they were able to spot that A push about 15 to 20 seconds in advance, and based on that, they obviously rotated all their players over. Shazam normally posted toward mid, was able to get himself to a car and highway position, and from there, unfortunately, it was very, very hard for Liquid to get into that site to begin with.
Right, if you're going to play passive and you're not going to go for those picks early on, you need to get the entries. They're not getting them right now. Now they're coming out this execute just to get the bomb planted. Roka and Rix doing some work. 2 kills for them. Shazam also chimes into 1, and there's 0 chance of this bomb being planted now. Both members stuck in the doorway. No armor, a Glock on Adren. And yesterday, I mean, what's the response now from Liquid? Because they haven't had any success in their gun rounds. Yesterday, when they were in this kind of a situation, this is when Adren picked up that op on the T side, curiously enough, and Shazam right through the door.
Overall, I think this A hold here is just being a little bit too strong from Tempo Storm. They're having a lot more luck when they just were going for the B pushes and when they would take initial mid control there. So if they went back to that or just went for a blind B push even, I think they would have much better luck with that because that A setup just seems to be a little bit too strong right now.
Well, that's the thing as well. If Adren is able to, if he feels like getting that op again and he can get up towards mid and he takes that dual Shazam and wins it, that gives him a lot of space to work with. That forces a rotate from one of the bomb sites. It weakens the defense at the sites. Gives him much higher opportunity to get some entry kills as you execute onto the bomb site. Fugly's still at this door, just trying to wait for rotates to go away, trying to time it. He's just going to guess he's going to open it, but Roka's at the forklift just to end the dream. This is a smart pause because they're up 13-8. And we are actually going to do a listen in for Team Liquid on this pause, so listen up.
And look for in this put they might push because they might have a time to call a strat, you know what I mean? Like and do a push strat. And Shazam has an op.
We have the wall smoke, we have everything. We have World War II, we have all this shit.
What can you do to kind of make Shazam useless? What makes you useless in mid with an op?
Yeah, I mean we could just take classic mid control and then split into a B strat. Because Shazam rotates A when we wall smoke. I think what I mean.
Going through highway smoke will work too. Highway smoke to A or wall smoke to A.
Yeah, but I think Shazam likes to rotate A on wall smokes, is what I've seen.
Well, if he does, then he can't. He's literally, if you go do that.
All right, guys, we're back now as we're getting through that pause at the moment here from Team Liquid, trying to come up with a strategy. So Moses, of course, being the former pro, based on that, what do you think of it?
I heard a lot of suggestions, and I didn't hear any one dominant voice to call something. I think it's interesting. Adren has that right read. I mentioned it earlier that when that wall of smoke came out, Shazam rotated to truck, and Adren just said that. He said, just from what I've seen, Shazam likes to rotate to A when he sees that wall. That's a great read, but that's where your in-game leader as Adren needs to be confident in that knowledge that he has and make the strategy. You heard, you know, their new coach, James, just, you know, making a suggestion, trying to talk them through it. You heard a couple players, you know, mention suggestions, but you didn't hear one dominant person say, we're doing this. This is the round we want to win, and this is what we're going to do.
And that's a big difference there when you take a look at a team like Cloud9 and look at their comps. Like if you look back to the ESL ESEA Pro League, you would see that, you know, he's that dominant voice. He's like, okay, guys, listen to me, do what I say, and it works out for them. It's a much more dominant team, obviously. But of course, now we'll see what Liquid have decided to do here after the pause has subsided. And now we're going into our next round, the 22nd round here. Liquid still ahead, but Tempo Storm slowly starting to close in with a scoreline now 13-8. As for Tempo Storm here, still splitting themselves up pretty nicely, but Liquid now with a much more spread out strategy.
Yeah, at least this, I mean, whatever they talked about, they're opening the same way, and the benefit of that is it kind of masks anything you want to do later on. If they're seeing the same looks in the first 30 seconds of every round, you know, you haven't really given away, you haven't tipped your hand to them quite yet. Now they're going to boost one player up. That's a Liege. But it doesn't look like they're committing too many bodies towards mid control quite yet.
So if
Nitro's coming around to get boosted.
The big thing to note here is now they have forced to rotate from Shazam. Instead of going back over to A this time, he has gone to B. So if they take mid control and then go to A from here, then it's going to work out a lot better this time because of how much more spread out they've started this play.
Yeah, well, this is a new rotate as well. Shazam gets smoked off, rotates towards B. So Adren calling that Shazam likes to rotate to A. Tough read because there's 3 players here now, and it looks like they want to make this a mid B split. They're all huddled underneath the vents. 40 seconds left in the round. Here comes some smokes up towards A, maybe to mask it a little bit, maybe to get Shazam to get pulled away if he's actually rotated. But no, he's going to stick around. This is a great read by Tempo Storm.
So they just end up smoking off highway, so it doesn't really work to their advantage there, and I think they're able to call it based off of that. Mollies, of course, as well as resmokes are going to come out here from the Tempo Storm players, and now again, Liquid, no way into this site right now. They're going to have to force their way through it. Stanislaw is in a great spot with the smoke positioning too. Him and Automatic are going to pick off 2, and then Shazam finding a 3rd. Now again, all just getting destroyed here on their attempt to find their way into the site. Flowsick is finally able to find something, but it's way back in mid. He has no control, and there's only 8 seconds left on the clock now. Great read by Tempo Storm, and again, Liquid, no luck getting into the site.
Yeah, that read actually kind of backfired on them. He had it accurate early on, but Shazam switched it up on him. Went over towards B instead of to A, and even Roka cheated over towards mid. So, I mean, that's such an impressive read because they only left 1 player in A. They wouldn't feel any pressure there, so they just didn't care. They had 4 players leaning towards B, and they shut that down, and that's another gun round where Liquid, they're not even really having any little bit of success in these rounds. They're getting demolished right now on their offense.
And now again, their offense isn't really going to hold too much here in this round, as their economy is unfortunately at a point where they have to eco it. Only one AK on the board, and that's Flowsick, as he was able to save it from the previous round. The rest of Team Liquid here on pure pistols at this point, and Flowsick takes an early battle. It's going to end up not going too well, but he does make up for that, picking up a nice headshot on Aroka later on. Rix, of course, was still able to drop a Liege, but now we see Flowsick again picking up 2 and 3 now as he drops Shazam and Rix, bringing this into a 4-on-2, and suddenly Team Liquid have control of the situation.
Yeah, just like we saw Stanislav for Tempo Storm, man-moding when they needed rounds on the T side. This time it's Flowsick for Liquid. 3 kills, opens it up. They're able to salvage 1 AK-47, but that's it. The rest of the guns are on highway. Nitro's going to try and wrap around and flank, but he's got to get on his horse and hurry up to support his team. A boost spots automatic crossing through to the smoke, but the retake is on. 2-on-4.
Lowest player here at the moment from Team Liquid is going to fall back. That'll be Flowsick. He's hiding inside of checkers right now. Look at that spot on Shazam, and the time is ticking away here. There you have it. Stanislav goes down. Automatic alive. He still has a kit, but still has 4 players to kill, and it'll be Flowsick. The repeat Squeaky, and that's an ace coming out now from Flowsick as he absolutely decimates the roster from Tempo Storm.
That is a big-time ace when they needed it most. 14-9 now, and that's another eco round that Tempo Storm is losing. All the entries came from the AK-47 that was managed to be saved last round. What a round from Flowsick.
And only AK on the board there too, so huge play with him being able to save that from the previous round. So we'll have to try and get a replay of that later on once we're in the post game. And now Tempo Storm, of course, still with enough money to go for the buy, but facing trouble early on. I think a grenade hits Rix head on, and now he's already dropped to half of his HP as once again Team Liquid try to split themselves up more.
Yeah, going back to that same look. Flowsick's over in the door.
And this has to be a panic point for Tempo Storm as well here. They had such good control this half, and then all of a sudden it's just crumbled to pieces now with Team Liquid finally starting to strike back and getting that 14th point onto the board off of an eco, no less.
Yeah, and this is actually much different. They've kept 2 players in B, Tempo Storm has, as their defense, but they've actually cheated over towards A this time. Automatics in mid, Shazam's rotated over with his AWP, and it's just Stanislav playing in that B bomb site, so playing a little bit more aggressively, leaning towards one side of the map, trying to predict this strategy to shut it down much easier. And still, no committal whatsoever from Team Liquid.
Still trying to get a read on the situation, but it does look like they will shift this back over towards the A site again, where they were able to take that previous round, hoping again that Tempo Storm are going to think they've flipped it back over towards B, but that won't be the case. Flowsick, though, again, finding the entry now through Squeaky. He's going to pick off a headshot and take down Roka. Those rotations will start to move in, especially now, but Rix, as well as Rix again, but then Nitro and Fugly respond with 2 of their own. Now it's a 3-on-2 at this point, but we'll see a very aggressive Tempo Storm. Shazam trying to move his way into the site more, looking for the shot over here onto Nitro, but not going to find it just as of yet. Now going to push and looks for Adren, just as he's planting the bomb, but he doesn't get it, and Adren cancels it in time, but he switches to the pistol and takes it down. Fugly, of course, was able to drop Stanislav in the process, and now Shazam, he can't see on top of the red box there, gets the no-scope, but it's not enough, and then switches the pistol again, finds that headshot, he takes down Nitro, and now it's a 1-on-1, and we're going to see who takes it. Shazam trying to get the shots, but it's not going to come through, and Fugly from Liquid takes it, and now they're on match point.
Oh, Shazam, he's got to be crushed after he missed that shot. Almost able to bring it back in a 1-on-3 situation. And you could see he made a good choice. He had to get aggressive into that bomb site. He knew Fugly was coming up highway. He was getting pinched, so he gets aggressive, finds the first kill and the second one, but can't convert on the last in the 1-on-1. So now you can see at 15-round Tempo Storms, their economy is shattered. They have 2 FAMASes, 2 5.7s, and a scout. This is a must-win round. Only 1 kid on Stanislav. That's something to keep your eye on.
Now we see where exactly Liquid, again, same setup, same mass that you talked about earlier. They're not really going to be able to get any intel off of this Tempo Storm, though. Even off of that last round, they had the correct rotation, they had the players in the right spot, but unable to come through as Team Liquid too strong on their T-side entry this now.
They've had some really, really good reads, but once again, Flowsick finds the first kill of the round, and that opens things up so well before they execute. I mean, he's just this guy who's stepped up massively when Liquid's needed. When they stall out on this terrorist side, he's been the one to really make it happen.
We'll see Liquid going for a boost here through the middle. That'll be a Liege moving up to that avenue, trying to get a little bit of control. Shazam has pushed his way back over towards the headshot box, way out in the open, but you won't see that shot coming out too quickly enough from a Liege. So Shazam playing it safe, able to get out of harm's way, but he does get hit by a grenade and a flash. This will give Liquid the opportunity to push through mid and get control of highway, and that's exactly what they are going to do. Shazam goes to his usual spot here by the car, but now keep in mind Flowsick as well through Squeaky is going to start to add more pressure from another direction. So this will be a hard hold for Tempo Storm to get. Now a Liege coming through, finds one, going to drop Shazam, picks up a second as well to automatic, but now stopped by Roka. Flowsick picks up yet another here for the Liquid roster, but Rix again, 2 and 3 for him now as he takes out Fugly. In addition to this, bringing it into a 2-on-2 again.
Yeah, 20 seconds left, and Rix is in a really tough spot to clear him out. He's hiding a door. He's playing it very well. He's delayed so long. Stanislav, he's got to be patient, only with the pistol. Coming up highway, he's going to try and sneak into the bomb site. He picks up an AK-47. That's huge. 1 player in quad, 1 player planning. 2-on-2 retake for the map.
Stanislaw trying to creep up here, trying to surprise the players, but so far not doing too good of a job of it. Nitro has spotted out. Adren as well, however, is stuck in a little bit of a tricky position, but he's going to look to peek for his own. Coming up, though, Rix finds another and a third as well. Oh my goodness, Rix, huge play from him. He gets a 4 kill to correct myself with 5 HP left, so plenty of time to defuse this bomb, and Tempo Storm will keep the fire going for now.
Yeah, Rix really stepping up huge that round when they needed it most, because that was trades out of Team Liquid as they entered the bomb site. He gets those first 2 kills coming up highway, and it looked like it was all over, but Rix pulls him right back into it. They do get a plant that round as Liquid, so they're going to buy up here. It's not over yet. Tempo Storm, 10-15.
Tempo Storm, of course, still a little bit shaky on the buys. We can see we still have one player using a FAMAS, others using AKs. 2 M4s on the board, and everybody has decent amounts of nades, but 3 players are missing hand arm. That's not going to matter too much, though, on the CT side, as they are working against the AKs, which will be the instant headshot kill anyway. Now, Team Liquid again, same strat. They're going to stick to what they've known has worked so far in this half, but now running into a little bit of trouble with it. They only need 1 round and still 5 left to do it. Still plenty of wiggle room here, but they do have to be careful, as those 5 rounds can catch up to you extremely quickly if you're not careful.
The interesting thing is Tempo Storm's actually been reading this on their defense very well. They've had a lot of these bomb sites stacked that are getting hit by Liquid. They're just, I mean, and for the most part it's worked out for them. Just those 2 rounds where Flowsick just kind of carries Liquid on his back. Now it's going to be a heavy B play. This is actually one of the rounds where they have the wrong read. Shazam in mid, it's Stanislaw all alone. 4 members of Liquid waiting outside the B bomb site.
And Flowsick, of course, looking to sell that illusion back over here towards A. He's been the one, of course, to find those entries time after time again. But if we'll get mollied off, that stops it for now. But as you mentioned, they've already had the wrong read on this. They've already over-rotated to it. So the second they kill him, they're going to have this horrible realization that it's not here, and we need to get onto B quickly enough. And now this all goes into the hands of Team Liquid's entry fraggers, as well as the Tempo Storm defenders here. Stanislaw going to have to come out huge. He does fall back, and the call's been made, so they are going to try to rotate people in here. But you've already got Team Liquid swarming into the site. Great flash, though, but Stanislaw not able to pick up a kill, and Fugly finds the first frag. Shazam is able to respond by dropping a Adrenaline. Automatic still back over here by Generator. We are going to see one more picked up by him, but so far Team Liquid having the advantage. Actually, correct that. Actually, Tempo Storm end up coming out of that with a trade advantage for themselves. They bring it into a 3-on-2 with Fugly and Elise left alive from Team Liquid side, and now 10 seconds left. They'll get that bomb down, but still not very good control of the site, unfortunately.
This is a crucial battle. Rix versus Fugly on this flank. Fugly's going to push him back. Great damage from him. Doesn't get the kill, though, so he's still got to worry about his flank. Shazam up top trying to find a pick, trying to catch a leash, peeking in the bomb site. He's going to swing out, and there it is. He does get it. Pulls out the 5-7. Now it's a 3-on-1. Fugly finds the first kill on the flank. Can't connect the headshot, but he does get the second one as well, and it's planted for him. This is a great advantage for Fugly. It's all on Roka, who's not on the bomb. Fugly spots out. He peeks. He commits, but doesn't win the fight. Roka's still not on it. Baiting out the shots. This is very well done from Fugly. And now he's going to commit to it. Now he's going to spray him down long range. That's going to be Team Liquid moving on. Tempo Storm has been eliminated. And a well-played match from Team Liquid.
Team Liquid will now be moving on to take on CLG in the semifinal and the decider to see if they or CLG will be moving on to ESL One Cologne. And as for Tempo Storm, as we mentioned, unfortunately, very close game. Almost brought it back on the CT side, but it's not enough. And as such, they're heading home.
Yeah, it was actually, I mean, for a team that we talked about being young and new together and newly getting more experience, their reads on that as a team were very good at times through that CT half. It's just...
That one at the end there, unfortunately.
Well, okay, so we talked about this morning, Tempo Storm saying, you know, they had some missed opportunities. They let some rounds go yesterday. They wanted this rematch. They wanted this rematch on this map. They got it, and once again, they let them slide. They give up that eco round in the first half. When they're up 4-1, they have complete control of every aspect of the game, and they give up that round. Elite gets those opening kills, and Liquid wins the save round. Yep. And from there, it's just all downhill. Liquid just steamrolls them from there.
The second round as well there, where we saw that huge play coming out from Flowsick with him managing to pick up an ace in that round, and that was another huge turning point there.
Yeah, that was like, I mean, Liquid was getting no progress whatsoever, and it's just this one right here. Finds that first kill. And everyone has pistols on his team. He's the only one who can do anything, and he finds 2 kills up highway. Rix can't trade that, so him with that ace, this was such a crucial point, because this is Tempo Storm had won 4 gun rounds in a row.
Yep. And it was all on him, as you mentioned. Only pistols for the rest of his team, and his players here from Tempo Storm trying to find a way to push back in. The stack doesn't really meet any F rates, but the good calls come out, of course, and with this now, Flowsick is able to re-peek it, pick up 1 frag, and then find automatic as well. And keep in mind, he was at such low HP for these final 2 frags, too. Take a look, only at 23 HP, found that great lineup, and then right here, just another headshot immediately after that. Huge plays, and easily the MVP of that game, in my opinion. Yeah,
this is that round from Rix where he really bails his team out. We missed the first 2 kills where he kind of holds off this push, but then retaking into the bomb site, Adren just couldn't connect with that one. Rix takes him out, gets the defuse, so well done there, but just Liquid, just too much that round. Fugly, and this 1-on-3 to win it. What a great round, and he just toys with the diffuser here. It's really unfortunate. Roka probably, he plays it so well. Just, I mean, that committal, that was a little bit dodgy, but
I was getting a bit worried overall in this play because Fugly, I mean, he missed 2 opportunities to pick up the frags, and then it was like, he brought him down low enough, though. He brought it down to 7 and 5 HP respectively, and then it was easy
just
taps
making
from
sure
there.
Roka didn't feel comfortable to stick that defuse. That was the key, and not committing to too many fights. So well played from Liquid all around. And we are going to have an interview ready with Sadakis and Dren, so take it away, boys.
Thanks so much. Adren, you get them twice on the same map. You came in yesterday, obviously they wanted that map. They picked it on purpose. They wanted a direct rematch. Did that kind of play in the back of your mind that they had the confidence to do a heads-up, straight-up rematch?
I guess I would say maybe like ignorance, maybe a little bit. I would say, I mean, I definitely think we're the better team on cash. So we definitely weren't going to veto it, you know what I mean? We know how they play on it. So I mean, maybe they thought like they knew how we played, so they could maybe counter that, but that was a good match.
Because I know yesterday they thought that they could have done a little better, so they wanted that. But you guys are so good on the A side of the defense. Also, though, it did actually, we'll get to the second half in a second. In the first half, though, when it started off, 4-1, money against you. That, you know, sitting out back with a couple of the other teams, we were looking going, Liquid could be in a lot of trouble. And then Elige steps up massively on the eco, turns things around. You guys never looked back. But the second half, it started to come away from you again. Another, it was the one saved gun, 1 HP from Flowsick, and it gets the ace. Everyone had so much individual performances. I mean, you guys must be feeling really good moving forward now, as you are obviously going to cross over and play CLG.
Yeah, the match, Flowsick coming up big with, I think it was an ace. Yep. But yeah, he saved the gun previous round. I was like, Kyle, just go out A main, make a play, because everyone else was saving. And it worked out super well. I think we caught him off guard a little bit. And as well, John with that eco round on CT side completely changed the momentum for the team and for himself. He just dominated after that, and that was a big turning point.
As well as obviously Fugly closing out the last round in great fashion, 1 versus 3. You guys have the new addition of the coach, James. Obviously, we listened in during the timeout, and comms were pretty cool and collected. You had some input, and then James had quite a bit of suggestions. How has he contributed to the team?
It's been awesome with him. He's super experienced with the game. He knows what we need in terms of experience. Everyone on my team has insane skill, so we just need the CS knowledge and experience, and he can deliver that.
All right, so moving forward, you do move into a best of 3. You guys win that. You're straight through to Cologne. You're playing CLG. You guys have a lot of experience against them. How confident are you guys moving into that? Is that something you guys think you can wrap up?
Yeah, it'll be a good match. I mean, us and CLG are pretty close. I would say, like, you know, we win 1 map, they win 1 map. We're back and forth. It'll be a good series.
All right, and obviously you don't want to give too much away, but what maps do you definitely not want to play against them?
Let's put it out there. We're going to veto Cobble, but after that, we're going to keep it open playing field and try to get him on some maps that maybe we usually wouldn't pick.
All right, well, I didn't want to give too much away. That's why I asked what you'd ban rather what you'd play, because that makes it interesting. So no Cobble. Thanks so much, Adren, and best of luck in the best of 3. We will take a very short break on stream. Again, just swap out the PCs, and we'll be right back with Mythic versus Elevate.